Hi everyone, welcome to my presentation, Making the Grade, Increasing Fruit and Vegetable Availability and Intake at Gettysburg College through Policy, Programming, and Education. Enjoy! Students entering college are embarking on a major life transition, with many students leaving their family homes, settling into a new social and educational environment, making new friends, and juggling many competing time priorities. Research has identified the ages of 18 to 25 as a period of emerging adulthood, a critical period for cementing healthy eating and lifestyle habits. Behaviors students adopt during this period can persist well into adulthood and consequently become more difficult to modify once they have taken hold. Unhealthy lifestyle behaviors, especially a nutrient-poor diet, can lead to weight gain and increase risks for chronic disease. Student health should be a priority on campuses across the United States. Students struggle with everything from mental health and sleep disorders to access to healthy foods and stress during post-secondary years. A study conducted by Boynton Health Service and the University of Minnesota stated that, for college students, health issues that affect their ability to attend class, complete projects, write papers, or take tests can have a profound effect on their ability to succeed academically. A health-promoting campus environment should be motivation enough for college and university decision-makers. Although previous research among children and adolescents has demonstrated that healthier students are better learners, research examining associations of healthy diets with academic performance among college and university students is developing. Data from the 2016 National College Health Assessment show that less than 5% of college and university students consume recommended daily servings of fruits and vegetables. If a healthier diet, among other health-promoting behaviors, may yield improvements in academic performance, colleges and students should be motivated for change. Gettysburg College is a small liberal arts college located in South Central Pennsylvania. While they had contracted with an outside vendor to provide food services in the past, they currently manage all food service operations in-house. Gettysburg's dining is award-winning, placing 12th on the Princeton Review list of best campus food. In addition, Gettysburg has undertaken efforts to green the campus, including previously partnering with a local CSA and inclusion of fresh and local foods in menu items. Despite these distinctions, many improvements can be made to elevate the food quality, increase the use of fresh and local fruits and vegetables, and decrease processed and nutrient-poor foods. Additionally, there is no grocery store within walking distance, and the nearby off-campus food options are fast and convenience foods. First-year students are prohibited from having cars on campus, which limits access to grocery stores. The main dining hall is an all-you-can-eat food program, and students are prohibited from removing any food for later consumption. Let's take a look at the policy landscape at Gettysburg College. Gettysburg has policies related to everything from parking, meal plan participation, academics, and even development of the collection in the library. There is, however, no current policy related to student health or wellness, or the breadth and depth of commitment on the part of the college. In my strategic plan, my recommendation is for the college to prioritize student health through two overarching policy additions. The first addition is to create a campus wellness policy, under which a nutrition program would detail a commitment to making healthy foods available and to provide nutrition education and nutrition counseling to students. The second policy would focus on food service by defining healthy foods, ensuring their availability to all students, requiring nutrition training for food service personnel, and local sourcing of fresh foods. Annual evaluation of policy implementation should be conducted. The following slides detail 3 strategies I recommend to Gettysburg College for prioritizing student health through nutrition education and easy access to fruits and vegetables on campus. My first recommendation is for the college to partner with the Food Trust, a nonprofit based in Philadelphia with a deep bench of experience in creating healthy food environments. They bring to the table a mission to ensure that everyone has access to affordable, nutritious food and information to make healthy decisions. They offer consultation services to guide farm-to-school efforts and relationships, and they can also facilitate nutrition-related events on campus. With their expertise in policy, the Food Trust can guide the college's decision-makers in the development of the campus's food service and wellness policies. Given that Gettysburg College is creating these policies and programs essentially from scratch, the Food Trust can lend an expert hand in several areas to ensure policy and programming are well thought out, intentional, efficient, and set up for success. I also recommend a produce subscription service called Nourish You for students to provide fresh fruits and vegetables they can eat in their rooms. Nourish You is a small-scale version of the Intervale Food Hub in Burlington, Vermont. Initially, Nourish You will offer 3 subscription options for fruit only, fruits and vegetables, or produce and dairy combination. Food will be delivered directly to student rooms with a weekly and bi-weekly option. Students can opt in prior to the start of the school year when they are choosing their meal plan, or they can sign up for the Nourish You service at any time during the school year. The program will be promoted heavily to all incoming freshmen and their parents, and upper-class student ambassadors will also spread the word on campus. A comprehensive social marketing campaign will be created to generate attention and excitement before the program starts, and to maintain interest and engagement in the program throughout the school year. Some of the produce, and certainly the dairy items, will need refrigeration. Incoming freshmen will have combination microwave refrigerator units in their dorm rooms, so food can be appropriately stored. Upperclassmen are able to bring their own refrigerators, and campus apartments all have refrigerators available. Nourish You subscribers will receive text message reminders, and subscriptions will be managed online. Unclaimed subscriptions will be donated weekly to the Campus Kitchens program, a student-led program that packages and distributes unused foods from several sources to community members in need. I interviewed Gettysburg's Director of Food Services, and I posed some questions to him about their process, the team members, and how they identify healthy foods for their menus. He indicated that they have taken many steps to improve the health of their dining options, and they offer many plant-forward food choices for the students. He also told me that, quote-unquote, for the most part, we know what is healthy. The food services team, however, is trained in food services, not nutrition. Adding a dietitian to the campus team can be a two-pronged solution to the dearth of nutrition education on campus. The dietitian can liaise with the dining services team to revamp menus and add healthy options, and the dietitian can coordinate campus-wide nutrition education events and provide on-campus nutrition counseling. Gettysburg students do not have a health class requirement, and nutrition education on campus is limited to one elective course for health sciences majors. What are the benefits of these strategies and costs, and who will pay for them? There are a host of benefits that may result from the implementation of these strategies. Research among children and adolescents has found that increasing healthy food options leads to higher intake of those options. Further, interventions may be adapted to yield similar results on college campuses. First and foremost is an increase in student consumption of fruits and vegetables, leading to healthier students who are more likely to succeed academically. For example, not all college students eat breakfast, but prior studies have concluded that eating regular meals, including breakfast, improves academic performance. That student who doesn't make it to breakfast in the dining hall may, however, eat an apple on the way to class, an apple which wouldn't have been available without a Nourish You subscription. The addition of nutrition education and counseling on campus is significant. Also, it signifies the college's commitment to student health on a campus that currently has very limited nutrition education resources. Last but not least, the subscription service and use of local foods and dining services support local farms and the area economy. These are strategies and programs that come with costs. However, the college would need to pay fees to the Food Trust for the duration of that relationship. In addition, adding a dietitian will require salary and benefits for a new full-time employee. There are also costs associated with nutrition training for the food service personnel. Time and resources are needed to promote and implement the new strategies, and labor will be needed to coordinate and deliver Nourish You subscriptions. Another significant cost is that borne by students and/or their parents for the Nourish You subscriptions. Students and parents may balk at paying even more for campus food services, so one option will be to tie the subscription payment into the student's meal plan payment. There may also be opportunities to offer discounts for long-term subscriptions or for first-time subscribers. Who will be interested in the success of these strategies and who will be most affected by them? The implementation and success of these policies, programs, and education affect a large group of people, including students, parents, food services personnel, faculty, administrators, board of trustees, local farmers and food producers, and owners of the food outlets near to campus. You might be wondering, what will success ultimately look like? Not only will students have easy access to fresh and local fruits and vegetables, making a healthy choice will be easier for students. In order for the nutrition program to succeed and for the stakeholders to realize long-term benefits, the financials need to make sense over the long term. Stakeholders also need to buy into the value of an additional cost for fresh food for students. Lastly, the overall wellness program should address other health-promoting behaviors that are problematic, in addition to improving student dietary patterns. The results can lead to improved health outcomes that may be lifelong and a return on investment for students, parents, and the college community. Thanks for watching. I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. My references are on the following slides.